Ever since Avengers Endgame closed the final chapter on the MCU's two most important characters, the MCU has been looking towards more and more obscure comic characters to fill their roster. So what if they expanded their scope past the Marvel Comics roster and into Japanese cinema? Today, I will be discussing what it would look like if Ultraman was in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. In this video, I will discuss Ultraman's origins in the original Ultraman franchise, my vision for his origins in the MCU franchise, and I will be drawing his all-new MCU design. Ultraman as a hero was first envisioned in 1966 by Eiji Tsuburaya in Tsuburaya Productions. He first appeared in the series of the same name, in which he would fight many giant monsters throughout the course of the series. Ultraman would go on to appear in many subsequent Ultraman series, often aiding the Ultraman of that series in some struggle or another. Ultraman is a member of the 6 Ultra Brothers, which are the core Ultramen of the series. Ultraman is a member of the Intergalactic Defense Force, a force of Ultras originating from the Land of Light, which travel throughout the universe seeking universal peace. Ultraman was first brought to Earth when he was pursuing a particularly dangerous kaiju named Belial, a kaiju who had managed to escape from the monster graveyard, which is where monsters go when they die in the Ultra universe. From there, he would merge with Shin Hayata, a member of the SSSP, in order to save Shin Hayata's life, when Ultraman would accidentally crash into Shin Hayata's jet. Together, the two of them would fight many kaiju in the service of the SSSP and in defense of humanity. Ultraman's powers include his iconic Specium Ray, a ray which he can fire out of his hand by crossing his arms, Specium Discs, which he can launch at his enemy, which can cut an alien in half, flight, and many more abilities throughout the series. He would finally be killed by an alien named Zeton, but fortunately his life would be saved by another Ultraman named Zophi. From there he would return to the Land of Light, where he would continue to serve in the Intergalactic Defense Force. In the MCU, I would envision that Ultraman wouldn't be too different from how he appears in the original series. Like in the original series, he would originate from the Land of Light, which I will rename Planet Hikari in the MCU franchise. Ultraman would be the son of Ultraman Khan, who served as Ultraman Belial's lieutenant back when Ultraman Belial was still a general in the Empire of Light. And this Ultraman Khan would be the one who would imprison Belial for 20,000 years. Ultraman is a prodigy among the people of the planet Hikari, but his skills are still unrefined, and he has a long ways to go before he unlocks his full potential. After the ancient Ultraman warlord Belial escaped from his prison and began to wreak havoc in the universe once again, Planet Hikari and the Empire of Light would send their most skilled warrior after him. This would be Ultraman. Ultraman would aid Captain Marvel in defeating Ultraman Belial. After Ultraman Belial was released from his prison and began to scourge the universe once again, the Empire of Light, which had in the recent millennia become much more insular, would once again begin to reach out to other planets, sending Ultraman as a safeguard against the Empire of Belial's many attempts at expansion. I could very easily see Ultraman aiding the Avengers, fighting against such enemies as Kang, Galactus, Annihilus, and many other very dangerous intergalactic foes. I could also see some enemies from the Ultraman franchise being a problem, such as the alien Impera and Yakul. As I mentioned in my video illustrating Ultraman Belial as an MCU villain, the MCU's Ultras would be more human-like in appearance, using armor very much resembling their Ultraman series counterparts. But I failed to mention in the earlier video that these Ultramen would not be giant-sized like the original series, in which they were around 40 meters in height, but this time they would be around human size. But that does not mean they would not fight giant kaiju as in the Ultraman franchise as we know it. No, I do believe that the Ultraman of the MCU would be very capable in fighting giant monsters, which, like in the original Ultraman franchise, would still be the result of the plasma spark, the land flights, or planet Hikari's all-artificial sun, interfering with the evolution on many other planets surrounding planet Hikari, resulting in giant and monstrous creatures known as kaiju. When designing this version of Ultraman, I wanted to be very careful not to stray too far from the original design, and I also wanted to be very careful not to accidentally imitate Iron Man's design. But at the same time, I wanted to modernize the design and make it more armor-like in appearance, like I did with Ultraman Belial. In the end, I am satisfied with the balance I struck between the old and the new design. But what do you think of Ultraman in the MCU? Would he be an official member of the Avengers? Could he perhaps be the strongest Avenger of them all, if he was? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.